Well guys, guess where we are at. So today we're making our way into Bass Pro Shops and hopefully we don't get put it off. So you know what guys, what we're gonna do today is, this is a question that I get asked a lot, and I think it's, you know, if you are starting to fish inshore for inshore saltwater, what are the top 5 baits or top baits you would use, you know, for that type of water? So I'm just gonna guide you through my thought process, what I use for inshore fishing, and then, you know, of course you guys might disagree here and there, but I think what I'm gonna tell you or what I'm gonna suggest to you are the core essentials that you need to have a successful day fishing saltwater. And I'll start with this. Right now they have a 10% off sales on the diesel minnows. So one of the things that I like a lot are the Zman plastics. The reason why is because they hold well, they are very strong, so they don't get easily bitten off by lizardfish or any other type of predatory fish. When it comes to which ones I use, I like the diesel minnows specifically. And when it comes to color, I think there's 2 colors that I really like. It's the pearl color, it's this one right here. Another color that I like, it's the diesel minnows, new penny. So these 2 colors I really like, and I use them for inshore water. I've caught redfish on it, trout, and snook. So that would be the first bait that I choose. And you know what, let me just grab it and have it with me. So this is the first lure I'm gonna choose. Then one of my favorite top water bait for inshore would be, there's 2 of them. A lot of people love the Sour Spook, which I've used many times, but right now what I'm using more than anything is these 2 lures. So I'm using the Skitter, this is the Skitter Walk, and then I'm using the Skitter V. Okay. You can see them on my videos. I love using both of them, and what the reason is, they really swim better on conditions where there's a lot of water movement or it's windy. They have better noise, in my opinion, than the Sour Spook. If I were to choose one of these though, I would probably go with the Skitter. I don't know, I think the Skitter Walk would be my choice. So yeah, I would go with the Rapala Skitter Walk. You know, it's a matter, a lot of people love other type of top waters. You can hear that knock. I like 1 knockers, so this is a very good bait. Another lure that people really like a lot is some type of, let's see, slash bait. There are some here. Okay, so here we go. So another lure that's very good is the Mirrodine. The only con that I see on this lure is that if you're fishing flats where there's a lot of grass, it's a little bit hard to really use them. With that being said, I've caught a lot of snook on it, and I've caught a lot of trout. Not many redfish, I just haven't had luck with it. So, you know, I think there's a few options, right? You have the shallow water option, the Mirrodine. So this is a very good one. It retails for $8.49, and it's a very good bait. I would think that in the process of grabbing those 5 baits, I would really put this in my hand, and then depending on what I got, decide whether it's the right color or not. And it all depends heavily on the conditions that you're fishing. So with that being said, so let's see, we have 2 hard baits, and then another option. So instead of, if you don't like the Mirrolures or Mirrodine, you can go for the jerk baits. You can use the crystal minnows, you can use the Rapalas, etc. What I like to throw are, in my opinion, my favorite jerk baits are gonna be suspending jerk baits. So that's what I definitely use if I were going that route. But at this point, I feel that we have 2 very solid baits, hard baits. So I think what we're gonna grab now are soft plastics. And I think, and you can see it recently on my videos, when it comes to soft plastics, there's 2 that I really like. There's the Gulp Shrimp, which you fish slower, and then there is this is the jerk chats. And then the jerk chat is one of my favorite baits. I like the new penny color, but then again, I use a lot of other colors. One color that I really like a lot is the nuclear chicken. This is a very good lure color. And then in terms of size, you know, I really like the bigger size, so I'll go with a 5-inch. And this is what I enjoy throwing when the water's cold. So the good thing about this is you can throw it two ways. You could do it when the water is cold and you feel that fish are lethargic. You can just twitch it slowly and let it on the bottom. Or if you see that fish are being aggressive, you can really throw it and just do aggressive jerks on it. So I believe that this is a very strong bait. The only thing that I don't like is that they break very quick. So, you know, let's say it gets bitten on the back by a lizardfish, by a snook, by any fish that bites it and misses the hook, it will break. So they become very expensive very rapidly. It's only 5 baits for $7, and I think this is where it suffers. But looking from the positive, whenever you throw this, it's very hard to get skunked. It's very hard. I've never gotten skunked throwing a jerk shad. So this is another great lure. That leaves us with what, one lure. And here is where it gets kind of tricky, right? Here's where you choose, where you really throw something specific for the area you're fishing. One example is you can throw jigs. Jigs are very good. Redfish bite it, snook bite it. Then you have spoons. Spoons are great. I use both. They're not my go-to lures, but they work extremely well. So I would say the fifth lure that I would grab right now would be heavily weighted into what sort of water. You know, that decision will be heavily weighted on what type of water I'm fishing. Another option that I would think about is smaller profile swim baits or you know, paddle tails. As you can see, you know, these are bigger. These are 4-inch. I wouldn't really grab a 4-inch if there's a lot of, I would say, if I see a lot of trout in the area, if I see a lot of you know, fish busting shad or fishing following bait fish. So that's where I would really feel inclined to grab a smaller profile lure. So you can see, you know, that you can't go wrong with a DOA Cal. They're smaller. This is what, 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches. So this is a very good option for saltwater, inshore specifically. That's what I fish mostly. Then you have, of course, the Mirrolure. I'm not necessarily a fan of them. I don't use them that much. So, you know, I think for me, you know, this really covers all the essentials that you need for a day of fishing. One thing that's very important too is whenever you're using you know, plastic lures or you know, swim bait, whether it's a swim bait or it's a jerk shad, you have to be very careful with the hooks you choose, right? I don't think they're here, and I'm gonna be moving around the store to see if I can find them. But what I really like is the Owner. There's the Owner hooks series. If they don't have them here, I'll show it to you. Are great for this type of fishing. Another lure or another hook that I like a lot is the Texas Eye. So the Texas Eye is very good because you can rig it weedless, and the Pine Island area where I fish, you know, this really works well. You don't want to be dragging through all that grass patch. So this is a very good jig head, or I mean a very good hook for the swim baits or the paddle tails. Now if you're looking for something more exposed, let's say you're fishing Chokoloskee, an area where there's not many grass flats and it's more oyster bars, and you're looking to maximize catch rates, then you can go with any of the Zman hooks that are exposed. You can go with the trout eyes. I think this is the one that I really enjoy the most for the fact that the eye is bigger and then the hook is wider and it's not too long. Some of the jig heads that I've bought before, you might be, well, like this right here, for example, this redfish eye, it's great, right? Because it's longer, but it really doesn't work well on all the paddle tails. So it's not as universal as you would think the trout eye. It's a matter of just making sure that when you're choosing stuff like this, you're choosing the right hook for them. Another thing that you have to think about is the sink rate, right? So you have 1/8 of an ounce, 3/16 of an ounce, 1/4. Depending on where you're fishing, how shallow it is, you're going to be choosing your hooks. I usually carry everything. I have a 1/8, I have a 3/16, and a 1/4. That for me is the best way to really fish. You know, have your tackle box set. Well, guys, I'm back at the office. I recorded 2 videos in Bass Pro Shops, one for bass fishing, so the top 5 lures that I would suggest for bass fishing, and the top 5 lures I suggest for inshore fishing. Additionally, I bought some stuff for myself. I'm going to share that with you quickly. I bought a jackhammer. So this is a chatterbait. This is mostly what professional anglers use when they go in their tournaments. I've never used it before because it's a bit pricey, but I'm gonna give it a try. So this is basically for bass fishing. You know what? Everything I bought was for bass fishing. I didn't buy any inshore fishing stuff. Then I got a Whopper Plopper. This is one of the sizes I like. I bought the 75, and then I bought the loon color. I had one. I actually have a loon on the one. I think it's the 110. I just can't find it. So once I get that, you know, it's a bigger profile. I like that one better, but this one is very, very good. I prefer this over the 90. It doesn't. The 90 has an issue where it swims down. This one doesn't have it. I bought some flukes. I had no flukes left. I've used them all, and you know, coming spring, I really like using this type of bait, so I got that. And another lure I got for top water is the Guggen baits. I think this is called the Guggen Toad. So I'm gonna be trying this the first time. I've had good experience with their baits, so I'll give it a try and see what happens. With that being said, I appreciate that you watch the videos. I will be recording in English going forward, so keep that in mind. I will try to upload a video each week. Some of them are gonna be bass fishing, some of them are gonna be snook fishing, redfish, and inshore, etc., etc. I will do my best to have a little bit of everything. I appreciate your support, and if you can please share, like, click the subscribe button and the notification bell. I really appreciate it, as it would greatly help the channel grow.